Once a year, the world's best tennis players come to Wimbledon for the All-England Championship, the unofficial equivalent of the World Championship. Favored to win the women's singles in 1957 is Althea Gibson from New York, USA. But there may be an upset. Her opponent for the semifinal is a 16-year-old British girl, Christine Truman, the young blonde prodigy who has crowned several of the top-seeded stars. For Althea Gibson, this is a crucial match in her 10-year-long effort to become the world's best tennis player. Althea has a big, powerful game. She overwhelms the British girl. The score, 6-1, 6-1. Even though happy about her own victory, Althea Gibson understands the disappointment of her younger rival. The great test is still to come. Queen Elizabeth of England is among the spectators at the final. Here, Althea Gibson faces Darlene Hard, a fellow American from California. Even Miss Hard applauds. Darlene Hard is one of the finest net players in the game. The first set is over. Darlene lost it after a terrific struggle. Althea is in top condition. Match point. And it's all over. 6-3, 6-2. Darlene is a good loser. Queen Elizabeth walks onto the center court to present the trophy. This is Althea Gibson's reward for many years of effort. It's a moment crowded with memories. Memories of New York, of her childhood in the huge, sprawling city. This was the New York of 15, 20 years ago. Memories of neighborhoods on the Upper West Side. Lots of games, lots of children, lots of fun. Memories of hot summers. Memories of Play Street supervised by the youth counselors of the Police Athletic League. And the playgrounds of the city's public parks. Just like this girl today, Althea, at 13, took up tennis. Like this girl, Althea had natural ability, but she needed to discipline her game, her footwork, her grip on the racket. Althea's first coach, Fred Johnson, still teaches today on the city's public courts. Fred Johnson has trained many youngsters, has encouraged them, has helped them with patience and kindness. Tennis is a discipline as well as a talent. Tennis is a test of relationships between people. Fred Johnson keeps an eye on all his pupils. These are youngsters he's been coaching for several years. He knows them well. Fred Johnson, the public tennis courts of New York City, they were part of Althea Gibson's youth. This was Althea Gibson in 1950, tense and nervous. It was her first national tournament. All eyes were on her because the day before she had been about to upset a recognized champion, Miss Louise Bruff. Althea Gibson was within one game of victory when rain halted the play. Now the tennis world wondered, will young, unknown Althea oust the star? All she needed was one game. The pressure was too much for young Althea Gibson. She lost her touch. Miss Bruff took full command. Althea, it was a heartbreaking experience. Losing 3 games in a row, she lost the set and the match.
Drop win, 6-1, 3-6, 9-7.
She blamed herself for her failure. The final score remained in her mind. It would take her years to regain her self-confidence. These were the early 50s when teenager Maureen Connolly ruled women's tennis, and Shirley Fry, and Louise Bruff, Margaret Osborne, Pauline Betts, and Doris Hart, brilliant performers on the court. After 1950, Althea Gibson had some disappointing seasons, but she kept on playing. She traveled to Europe and Asia. Her game started improving. It had always been forceful. Now it became controlled and subtle. As she gained experience, she became more relaxed. The top prizes still escaped her, but she began to win tournaments. Things were looking up. The year was 1956. In the fall, she met a formidable antagonist, Mrs. Margaret Osborne DuPont, for the Pennsylvania and Eastern States title. The fans knew about Althea's long struggle. They were impressed by her game. Mrs. DuPont was powerless to stop her. Althea Gibson walked off with the title. The score was an impressive 6-1, 6-4. It was her first major victory in the United States. It was followed 10 months later by her Wimbledon triumph. After Wimbledon, New York, her native city, welcomed her home with a ticker tape parade up Broadway. Fellow New Yorkers expressed their admiration and their affection. The mayor greeted her on the steps of City Hall and proclaimed this Althea Gibson Day. Today, she's a well-known figure. Wherever she plays in tournaments around the United States, young people gather around her. She has an easy and friendly manner. Fame has come her way. She remains grateful to the many people who have helped her over the years. Her family, her many friends, her coaches, her fans. In September 1957, she meets Louise Bruff for the U.S. Championship, the same Louise Bruff who had dealt her that heartbreaking defeat 7 years earlier. The U.S. title, which has eluded her all these years, is what she's after now with all her might. She is relaxed and confident. This time she's sure of herself. Louise Bruff, great player though she is, cannot stop her this time. At the end, the score stands at 6-3, 6-2, and Althea Gibson is the new champion of the United States. She stands in the big stadium in her hour of triumph. The long years of struggle are forgotten in the ovation, the tribute of her fellow countrymen as they rise for her. As the Vice President of the United States presents her with the trophy, it's a dream come true for Althea Gibson, tennis champion.